All right, welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to break down this really powerful communication principle that honestly operates just beneath the surface of our conversations. It's kind of like a hidden language that decides who really listens and who just tunes out. Okay, let's start with a scene that I'm sure you know all too well. You know the one. You're in a meeting, maybe you're with a client, or you're just talking to your team. You start sharing your plans, your big vision, and all of a sudden you can just feel the energy drain from the room. Eyes start to glaze over, you can tell the attention is just gone. So, why does that happen? Well, the source material for today's explainer suggests the answer is way stranger than you'd think. And it all starts with this core idea. So, if they're not listening with their minds, what are they listening with? And that question brings us right into our first section, the listener in the room. If it's not the conscious mind that's listening, we have to ask a different question. Who or what is the real audience here? To get this, you kind of have to totally shift how you think about communication. Well, it turns out you're not really talking to just one person. No, you're speaking to this whole ecosystem of ideas that are living inside them. Think about it like they're these separate little creatures, all looking for a way to get out into the world, to become real. So it's not the person you have to convince, it's this bustling internal population of ideas. And this right here is where you see the huge disconnect. On one side, you have the person, the human host, who thinks their attention is personal. You know, they're thinking, oh, I'm interested, or wow, this is boring. But on the other side, that ecosystem of ideas inside them, they're asking a totally different, way more primal question. Can this person actually make things real? So, this leads to a pretty wild paradigm shift, which is our second section. Ideas are listening. You know, we love to think that we have ideas, that we possess them. But the source material for this argues it's actually the other way around. Ideas are the active ones here, and they're the ones who are constantly listening, constantly searching. So what are they searching for? Well, they're on the hunt for a very specific kind of person, an actualizer. And an actualizer is someone who doesn't just talk about things, they finish them. They're the ones who can take something that's just a possibility and turn it into a concrete, solid part of the real world. Okay, so if these ideas are the real audience, then they must have their own language, right? There has to be some kind of signal that cuts through all the noise and all the chatter of human conversation and just tells them, hey, over here, this is a person who gets things done. So what is that signal? And that signal, well, that's what brings us to section 3, this sound of proof. And it all comes down to something that sounds almost too simple. It's the grammatical tense you use when you speak. I know, it sounds kind of basic, but the source breaks down exactly why this is so incredibly powerful. Just look at this timeline. It breaks it down perfectly. When you speak in the future tense, we will, we're going to, we plan to, it's just theater. It's a nice story. Then you move to the present tense. We are working on it, and that becomes a performance. It's all about the effort. But then you get to the past tense. We did, we solved, we built. That's proof. And here's the absolute crux of it all. Ideas, they don't care about your good intentions or your passion or how hard you're working. Nope. They're only interested in one single thing, completion. Because at the end of the day, completion is the only thing that can't be argued with. It's the only thing that guarantees their survival. See, when you speak in the past tense, you're basically speaking the language of history. It's the sound of something that's already done, already part of the unchangeable past. And to an idea, that is the unmistakable scent of actualization. It's the sound of a direct flight into reality. Okay, so how do we actually use this? That brings us to the practical application in section 4, the past tense hack. Now, this isn't about lying or, faking where you are in a project. It's about consciously reframing your progress as a series of already completed steps. Take a look at this. It's so simple but so powerful. Instead of saying, we're working on improvements, which is all about the process, you state a concrete fact. We improved the 2 things that were breaking trust. That's a result? I mean, can't you just feel the difference in power there? Or how about this one? Saying we're trying to figure it out just screams uncertainty, right? But if you shift that to the past tense, we figured out the first part, boom, that signals completion. Even that one small finished step is infinitely more compelling to those ideas that are listening. And let's do one more, just to really lock it in. We plan to do it soon is pure future tense theater. But compare that with, we did the hard part. Now it's just execution. That's history. That's proof. And this simple little shift in language is what makes your listener and all those ideas inside them feel that sudden surge of what they call confidence or clarity. But here's the thing, and this is maybe the most important part of this whole idea, which brings us to our final section: become an actualizer. This is so much more than just a clever language trick. It's really a whole way of being. You can't just say the words, you have to live them. You can't fake it. Because if you try to use this as just some kind of manipulation tactic, it is going to backfire, big time. Why? Because ideas aren't stupid. They can tell when your language doesn't match reality, just like you can smell fake confidence from a mile away. The words have to be a real reflection of things you have actually completed. So the real goal here isn't just to talk like an actualizer, it's to actually become one. It's not about trying to create this self-image of someone who's super busy and important. It's about being a finisher. At the end of the day, ideas are looking for finishers, not dreamers.
So what does this all boil down to? It's a really simple 3-step practice you can start today. First, stop trying to impress people with your future plans. Second, start attracting ideas with your completions. Highlight what you've already finished, no matter how small. And third, make a real conscious effort to speak in the past tense. So here's my challenge to you. Try this. Just try it. In your next meeting, your next presentation, that next one-on-one you have, make the shift. And then pay very close attention to who, or maybe what, finally wakes up and leans in when you start to speak. The answer might just surprise you.